All right, I've had many questions from people about how do I go about finding these structures that I have posted so many videos about. And basically what I decided was to put this little video together where I'll show you what I do to prepare before I go, and then actually take you out in a place I've never been before and see if we find something. So here we go. So what's the first thing I do? Well, I get all my equipment ready, camera, make sure the batteries have got charged batteries. I've got all my memory that I need on my memory sticks and that everything's working. Okay, the number two thing I do is I go to my computer and I go to Google Maps. Google Maps. Now what I do is I go to Google, I click on it, and up in the upper right hand corner you have the 9 little boxes that we're all familiar with on Google's homepage. Click on those and I go to Maps. Click on Maps. Now the map that I am looking at basically is set up and shows my residence, and in the bottom right hand corner there's a little satellite image, and I click on the satellite image and I see the satellite view. Now I'm going to go to an area not far from my home that I've driven by many times, but I've not actually gone into the specific area and looked. And I've never heard if other people have seen structures in this area. So this is completely blind. But I'm just going to use what I normally do to find these things. So I'm going to basically scroll over to the area I want to search under. And let me get to it here. I don't want to be boring for you. And I will get there, and here I go to the canyon. Now what I'm looking for is a canyon, a road going up the canyon, and there's a creek running along the road. And it's a fairly narrow canyon, so there's not a lot of places to go. And that's probably why I haven't looked at this before. Well, I'm going to now zoom in, use my little roller wheel on my mouse and zoom in, and I'm going to look along this road for areas along this creek at the bottom of the canyon. Now that's important right now because this is winter, and basically the roads are closed up very high anyway, so you can't get very high. But I'm going to basically look for areas along the roads where there is going to be a wider swath of forest where the road goes up the canyon opposite of the creek. And my point being there is this. Sasquatches seem to always build these structures near water. But they want a barrier, or they want something between them and where people would naturally be walking. And I can almost say without exception, every time I've found these structures, it's been on a creek near a road, it's been on the opposite side of the creek from the road. So basically I'm going to have to find a place that's got a little wider swath on the other side of the creek to go and investigate that, and I'm probably going to have to wade the creek to do it. And I'm looking, and I'm basically scrolling the map, scrolling up the road, looking for some areas, and I'm finding here a couple that look interesting. I'm seeing some wider forests. I'm looking basically for pines, because pines offer year-round cover as opposed to aspens. And in fact, here's a good one. I've got aspens and pines together, and that's really what I like to find, aspens and pines. And I can tell I've looked at the maps enough to be able to identify from the aerial views aspens and pine trees. We don't really get cedars in this area. We get cedars in southern Utah, not cedars up here in the north as much, or at least along this part of the Wasatch Range. So we tend to have pines, aspens, and then right at the lower elevations, maples. All right, so it looks like I've got a couple of areas spotted out. It looks like I'm ready to go. I have to make one apology. You know, when I watch these sorts of videos, I'm much more intrigued with watching lovely young ladies. And as you can tell, I'm not a lovely young lady. I'm a grizzled old guy. So all I can say is you got what you got. And if you're interested in the topic, great, but you might have to put up with looking at me. So, if you don't mind, I'd like you to do me a little favor. So I know that people are interested in these videos, and I'm not just spending time. If you don't mind hitting that little subscribe button down at the bottom and hit the bell, then that'll let me know there's enough people that have enough interest that it's worth continuing doing these. And also the bell is going to show you that I've got some really good content. I'm finding some really spectacular stuff that lots of people talk about this, but not many people are really out looking for it. So you can look at these structures and you can make a determination yourself. But that way you'll be sure that you get a chance to see them. Well, I finally found a way down, so let's see what we find. Okay, I'm down here to the creek bottom, and the creek doesn't look too fast. I can step across it here if I want to. Snow looks fairly deep. Don't know how far I'm going to be able to move, but we'll give her a shot. The creek was a little dicier, current a little stronger than I thought, but it was okay. I'm on a road here on the opposite side of the creek. Now, what am I looking for? Obviously looking for shelters, if I see those. Short of shelters, I'm looking for tree teepees, which are trees that are leaning against other trees like deadfall, but in all directions, so it wouldn't just be something falling over. Particularly, I'm looking for two trees that are crossed in like an A structure, because typically they'll use those, or seem to, and when I follow those uphill I come to structures or find things of interest at that. Okay, I'm about to stop and go back. Snow's deeper than I thought, and I see something that might be a structure over there. I'm pointing at it, so I'm going to walk over there and see. My dog is off running around, so I don't know where he is right now. Okay, I was about to give up. In fact, I was heading back and I came across this. Now, this is definitely made. At first blush, it looks like a game screen to hide behind. The branches appear to be all broken for the most part. But it's right here by this road. I'm going to have to look around to see if I think this is man-made or something else. But this is not natural. This was piled up here. Okay, this is definitely a hunting blind. And I'm seeing some plastic in the middle there. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's man-made. There's some twine. I don't know if it's tied off or if it's just wrapped into there. Well, definite broken off branches. I don't see any that are cut or chopped. Fairly disorganized, but frankly I think this is 60-40, probably man-made. I haven't seen just screens like this that are one-sided that are made by Sasquatch. It could be. I mean, but crude, but if somebody didn't have an axe and put this together, you got a clear view of the trail out there. So a bow hunter could have done this. This one I'm not sure of, but hey, I got out in the woods and I found something. But I'm going to come back here in the spring when I can hike further up this road. But my cotton picking dog ran off, and frankly, if he doesn't get back, I'm going to have to leave him up here.
overnight and come back tomorrow. Try to get him.
All right, my dog came back, and that trip wasn't as exciting as some of the others. I did find a structure. I think that's more than 50% that was probably a blind built by humans. But as you can see from the area is very interesting. And when the snow melts, I'll go back out there again. And if you'd like, I'll do the same kind of video when I visit it again. If you would like that, leave me a comment and let me know that. And that way I'll know I'm doing something that people would like to see. So thanks, and